Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about Nearpod. This is a web-based presentation application that is very similar to things that we already use in class like PowerPoint. It's a way to get information to the students. However, what sets it apart is that this really allows for students to have a little bit more independence. Because it is web-based, this application allows students to basically download the presentation to their iPad or their Chromebook, and they can basically take themselves through what would normally be a lecture that you give at the front of the class. So essentially, you're flipping your classroom. You're letting the students read and find out the information, and then you can use class time for more application type activities. Other things that set this apart, you have embeddable flash videos, quizzes, and different kind of formative assessments that you can embed within the presentation itself. So because the students are going through on their own devices, they're able to fill in these activities as they get to them, and then they can move on once they've finished. And a lot of these things can be very interactive. For example, the different Flash applications you can put in, students are able to take like a virtual tour of a location, whatever that may be. There are several to pick from on the website. Obviously, videos, different other types of multimedia can be very engaging. And as you can see, the general purpose is basically to increase student engagement and allow for differentiation when giving information to students. This supports our district's vision because obviously we need to reach each individual student. State assessments and other mandates that we are being given tell us that we need to make sure that we are meeting every student's needs, and whether that's through an IEP or whether that is just by differentiating for every student in the room. And this application allows us to do this. It engages all of our learners at the same time. It allows them to go through at their own pace, and also it gives everyone a front row seat. Whereas before they all had to look up at a Promethean board or whatever focus you had at the front of your room, now they're able to see this on a device that is in their hands. The age range for this technology could really be anywhere K to 12. It's just it would need to be modified for how much independence you give the students. At the middle to high school range, the secondary range, students can really have more independence. They're able to go through more at their own pace. They're able to, read through the slides on their own, find out that information, get more of a true flipped classroom feel. Whereas at elementary, they may need more teacher-led structure. So Nearpod also gives you the ability to keep every student on the same slide. So if you want to do more of a traditional lecture, you are able to do that, and you basically, as you go through the slides on whatever board you're using, the students' devices will go through at the same time. You can still embed activities, you can still do quizzes, it's just that now students will all be doing it at the same time. So for students that need that structure, especially at the primary levels, you're able to still do that. The only equipment and software that you need are really a computer. You don't have to have an iPad. There is an application from Nearpod that is developed specifically for the iPad, so that is nice. But if you have an internet browser, you can go to nearpod.com and you get all the same features. The only other requirement, obviously, is that you do have access to the internet. That is how students join. They have to register and join a class. And then once they're in that class, they are either, as I said before, able to go through at their own pace, or they have to follow along as you go through. But that is only through the internet. For technical support, so if there are issues, Nearpod has its own staff. It is free. They are available 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday. So basically during any class time, should there be an issue that arises, you are able to contact them, and they have a web-based chat service, which if you have not used before, a lot of websites are now veering into this style, where it's basically instant messaging. You chat, and whoever is on the other side, the technical support, will then respond back to you live in real time. So there's not necessarily the waiting that would come with sending an email. You are also able to email should you need to, support at nearpod.com. But the speedier method would definitely be to use the chat. Now, the cost for this application, there are several different tiers. Obviously, they want you to pay, so they give you the most flexibility, they give you the most features with the higher paid versions, naturally. However, there is a free version. You are limited in that you can't really add embedded virtual field trips like I mentioned before, where you're able to, rotate the camera and you're able to see all the, it like as if you're standing inside of some location. And look around. You're not able to do that. You're not able to embed videos. You're not able to embed fill-in-the-blank activities. You are still able to use quizzes that are multiple choice. You are still able to use every function that would be available for PowerPoint, but you lose some of the more advanced high-tech features. There's less storage space. You're not able to, save as many presentations as you want. You're limited there. You can only use live mode. You're not able to let students go through at their own pace. Like I mentioned before, you have to have students follow along as you present. There's fewer slides allowed in the lessons, and you're limited in how many students you're allowed to have in a session at one time, only up to 30. So like I said, very limited, still functional, still usable, but definitely the more advanced features are what really make this application worth it. So the gold membership, which is the kind of basic paid version, is $120 a year. They do give you a free trial, but that opens up that student-paced mode, which really allows for classroom flipping. You're also able to increase the class size up to 50. So if a teacher has multiple sections of one subject, for example, they have like 3 periods of English 10, like I do, they're able to have at least 2 of those sections potentially in one class or in one session if you would wish to do it that way, for that student-paced learning. For the Platinum membership, that's the next tier up. The class size increases once again, so you're up to 75. So there I could have all 3 of my sections in the same session. And that's $349 a year. You also get access to thousands of ready-to-teach lessons that are already stored on the Nearpod site. They have teachers that upload their lessons, and you're able to browse, kind of like a teachers pay teachers format. You go through, you look, and decide if you want to use someone else's materials. Then the last membership level is a district membership, which is where you would need to have a quote. It's not really a one price, depends on how big the district is. But in that case, the full class size can be up to 100. Students are able to take notes. It adds a function. You're able to have a library of presentations that are just for your district. So teachers can upload those, and teachers can quickly and easily find presentations by other teachers, should they wish. There is technical support that is just devoted to our district, should we go this route. There's training. They will train people to then come in and teach us how to use it. It increases our overall storage, and the district class size could be up to 200. So meaning you could have 200 different people saving presentations, which is obviously the nicest out of the 4, but also going to be the most expensive because you're buying it for the whole district. But you probably save money in the long run if you have all the teachers on board and using it, which, it really is beneficial for everybody. Anyone that has to give a lecture at any point, which is pretty much every teacher, could potentially use this software. Like I said, the uses, it really covers all our content standards. We are disseminating information, using materials that follow the content standards, the Pennsylvania Common Core, and it allows us to upload slideshows that we already have and improve them with the Nearpod features, like embedding video and embedding websites and so on. So this will help us promote specific learning goals by, allowing every teacher to really tailor it to themselves and what they need to accomplish in their class, what their objectives are for that day. So there's lots of flexibility for creating your own or taking a presentation that's already there and modifying it. And then the differentiation happens naturally. Just by allowing student paced mode, you give students the ability to learn and go back and review and do what they need to understand the information, whether that means that they're a little quicker, and can move ahead, or whether that means they need a little bit more remediation, a little bit more going back and reviewing. They're able to do that. All students are given a prime seat. They're able to see the presentation in their hands. You don't have to worry about keeping certain students at the focus of the room. So everyone gets that advantage. And also, it encourages full class participation. By using these activities and quizzes, you allow students to really go through and answer and not have class dominated by just those one or two students that are really engaged and want to answer that you call on over and over again. Now you're forcing all students to engage and answer these quick quizzes or little activities, these formative assessments, where you can really check on the entire class. So overall, just the reflection that I have after investigating this and now wanting to present it to you, this really gives all teachers the potential to flip their classroom much easier and more effective than maybe we could on our own. This really gives us software to do it. The student-paced function, I think, is one of the best features. So really, that alone is reason to pay for a membership, whether it's by teacher, a la carte, so to speak, or whether it's for the whole district. However, the live mode allows you to also give that structure that some students need. So really having both at our fingertips is most advantageous. The multimedia features, such as embedding videos and those field trips, it just by its very nature, it will engage more students and hopefully increase their understanding, because it gives them a little bit more of a visual, a little bit more of an alternative way to understand and grasp the information. The free version basically gives you just another method of presentation like PowerPoint. So I mean, it's nice because you can still embed those multiple choice quizzes and get those kinds of quick formative assessments, but you really do lose out on some of the best functions that I already talked about. So like I said in that last point, the necessity for payment for the most unique beneficial features, I think makes it worth it. And I think it's really a worthwhile investment that many teachers will get a lot out of, whether they realize it yet or not. I think they will find that it really leads to better student engagement, better student understanding. You can see my references. They all come from the Nearpod website, nearpod.com. You're able to go there and register and create your own account, and you can start to look through some of these cool things. And then I have two how-to screencasts. The top link will show you how to register. It kind of shows you just the basics of how to create an account, and then what the home screen looks like. And then the second link will take you through and show you how to actually look through presentations that are already on the website and modify them. So you'll get both both of those how-to videos, and I encourage you to click on both and investigate that further. Thank you very much.